Millions of people are waiting for you. Waiting for you to raise your voice in support of their plight, an issue which undoubtedly affects you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Toby from Thomond Community College, Limerick, and thank you very much for inviting me here today to support the motion that furthering women's rights is absolutely fundamental for development. Women make up 51% of the population on planet Earth. Needless to say, that 51% is affected just as much as their male counterparts by national decisions and politics, as well as other aspects of our day-to-day lives. It should go without saying that they have the freedom to choose and be involved in that decision-making process. For countless generations, a patriarchal society has been the norm, based on the preconceived idea that women are the lesser or weaker sex, and therefore should be submissive, passive members of the community. Absent from the educational and professional scene, they were not allowed freedom of choice in politics, over their bodies and their lifestyle in general. Aside from the obvious moral dilemma that this enforced secondary status imposes, these norms and this mindset gave rise to a host of other serious problems, such as rape and power abuse. In the last 100 years, women have gone from being barred completely from education to even outperforming their male classmates. In a noted global trend, female students earned higher grade averages than their male counterparts, as well as maintaining a 4% lower dropout rate. However, this reality has yet to translate into equality in terms of politics, management positions, and other aspects of our social interactions, despite it thoroughly destroying the idea that men are superior. Additionally, countless female contributors to science and technology over the years have proven to us that women are a powerful necessity to the advancement of society. Everyday items that we enjoy and often take little regard for, including windshield wipers, indicators, heaters, syringes, Monopoly, electronic refrigerators, dishwashers, CCTVs, paper bags, Kevlar, as well as numerous computer algorithms and programs, we would not have today if those women were not allowed the opportunity of education and professionalism. Case studies have shown us that children who grow up in households wherein both parents shared responsibilities, such as childcare and housework, tended to perform better in school, throughout university, and were less likely to develop mental illnesses. Interestingly enough, the parents of these families were also shown to be happier, healthier, less likely to drink, smoke, or take recreational drugs, making it pretty safe to say there is positively no legitimate reason to enforce gender role segregation. Ireland ranks as one of the top 10 most gender-equal countries in the world. However, this is not a position in which we should relent our fight, but rather use this position as a podium with which to reach out to the millions of others still living in oppression. Not spoken nearly enough about are transgender women, still denied basic human rights, such as the use of public restrooms in many places, as well as incredible social discrimination on a daily basis. In addition to the millions of women still living in underdeveloped third world countries such as Iraq, India, Sudan, and Indonesia, who to this day are being denied the right to vote, get a proper education, and do what they want with their lives, and to fulfill their dreams. Freedom cannot be achieved until women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression. These are the words of the late Nelson Mandela, world-famous activist for the equal rights movement. Personally, I try to avoid the label activist, as far too often this gives us the mental image of an angry protester with messy hair and some cheesy slogan scribbled on a cardboard sign. I prefer the term advocate for equality, as this creates a more welcoming tone that people are more likely to want to get involved with. And part of the very daunting task that we are faced with today is disarming the prejudices surrounding female empowerment and feminism in particular. Stereotypes and misconceptions that the movement is anti-male and female dominant must come to an immediate halt. Gender equality is just as dependent on male support, even though the majority often take for granted the privileges that they enjoy. When faced with reality, we can only conclude that everyone in society benefits from a society wherein everyone is equal, as everyone is endeavoring and striving together towards its development. Much has already been done to solidify equality in our culture. But I say it's not good enough. Let us use our progress as inspiration. The goal is in sight. We must strive for complete global equality. The youth of today have abandoned the save the world cliché that our parents grew up with. We know it is not that simple. We seek a more definitive future, one in which we abolish the chains left by centuries of ideology. Change will not happen overnight, but mark my words, it will happen. We will make it happen. It has been said before, but I will say it again as it rings now more true than ever. We cannot succeed when half of us are held back. Key word being we. Now I'm calling on you to make this change happen, to speak up and use your voice when you see or hear sexism happening. It is far too ingrained in our culture to treat rape and degradation of women as jokes. Standing quietly by while this happens is allowing for it to continue being a part of our culture. Even if saying something does lose you a friend, I believe it matters more what you stand for than who you stand with. Our generation of today has values. Values that we have made for ourselves, independent of traditional or religious beliefs. We value freedom, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, and the freedom to live how we want and to do what makes us feel fulfilled. And we, as a generation, refuse to allow those rights and those freedoms to be withheld from anyone who deserves them. This is why furthering women's rights is absolutely essential to the development of mankind. Thank you.